Imagine a remote, icy island. It is larger than Texas. It sits between the United States, Europe, and Russia. Now imagine the most powerful nation on earth openly discussing using its military to acquire it. That island is Greenland. The Trump administration has made it clear national security and global dominance could justify almost any measure. President Trump calls it a priority. His aides insist no option, including military force, is off the table. European allies warn of the consequences. NATO trembles. Denmark, the current sovereign, faces an unprecedented challenge. Greenland is rich in oil, gas, and rare earth minerals. It isn't just land. It is leverage, power, and strategy crystallized in ice. As you watch this unfold, ask yourself, how far can a nation go in pursuit of security and resources? And what does this mean for the fragile balance of global order? Let's explore why Greenland matters. Let's look at who is involved and what is truly at stake. Greenland is not just ice and snow. It is strategically located in the Arctic, between the United States, Europe, and Russia. Its position gives it enormous military value. Long-range missiles, naval bases, early warning systems, all are possible here. Trump's team argues controlling Greenland is vital for U.S. national security. But the island is part of Denmark, a fellow NATO ally. European leaders, including France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and Britain, push back. They say security in the Arctic must be collective. They emphasize diplomacy and alliances, yet Trump repeats his message. Greenland is a priority. He mentions military options openly and suggests Denmark may not have the right to block U.S. ambitions. Domestically, reactions are mixed. Some Democrats and Republicans warn against overreach. Some propose resolutions to prevent military action. Others call Trump's approach reckless and demeaning to allies. The world watches closely. Greenland's ice holds resources, yes, but it also holds a test of power, trust, and international norms. Greenland has long been more than a frozen island. During World War II, it was a key location for Allied operations. The United States built bases to monitor the Atlantic. It became a strategic outpost during the Cold War. The Arctic is a gateway between continents. It controls access to northern shipping routes, and it monitors military activity from Russia. Trump's interest in Greenland is not new. He first suggested buying the island during his first term. Danish leaders rejected the idea outright. After winning the 2024 election, Trump revived the proposal. He framed it as a national security imperative. And as a way to secure vital resources, Greenland holds oil, gas, and rare earth minerals. These are critical for energy and technology industries. The U.S. sees this as a strategic advantage. Meanwhile, Denmark and European allies see it as a sovereign right. Tensions between national interest and international law emerge, and the stakes are higher than ever before. Greenland is now a symbol of power, resources, and ambition. Tensions over Greenland erupted once again this week. The White House said the United States is discussing a range of options to acquire the island, and made clear that military use is not off the table. President Trump described Greenland as a national security priority. He said the U.S. needs the island to deter adversaries in the Arctic. Senior aides doubled down, questioning Denmark's right to claim it. European leaders reacted swiftly. France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Britain, and Denmark issued a joint statement. They declared that Greenland belongs to its people, and that Arctic security must be collective, with NATO allies working together. Denmark's Prime Minister warned that a U.S. attack could end NATO. Greenland requested a meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The stakes are clear. Resources, location, and international law collide. U.S. Domestic voices are divided. Some lawmakers push resolutions to prevent invasion. Others call Trump's approach reckless. The world watches an unprecedented diplomatic standoff. In one moment, words alone could trigger global tension, and the threat of military action looms like a shadow over icy terrain. Behind the headlines, there is a deeper mechanism at play. It reveals why Greenland is more than just a strategic prize. Greenland is more than an island. It is a strategic lever in a global game of power. The Arctic has become a hotspot for resources, shipping, and military influence. The United States sees control as a way to secure its northern flank. Russia is expanding its Arctic presence. China is eyeing trade routes and rare earth minerals. This makes Greenland a key chess piece. Control means influence over global supply chains and military positioning. But the mechanism is not just about geography. It is about perception. Trump's open consideration of military action signals resolve and power. It tests allies and adversaries alike. It shifts the balance of negotiation. At the same time, it pressures Denmark and NATO. Domestic politics play a role too. Showcasing strength abroad appeals to certain constituencies, and it distracts from domestic concerns. In short, Greenland represents a convergence of strategy, economics, and political theater. Every statement, every hint of action triggers reactions across continents. The island's icy expanse conceals a complex network of power dynamics. Understanding this mechanism is key to predicting what comes next. And the tensions are far from over. A second crisis is already unfolding, pushing the stakes even higher. The crisis over Greenland escalates. Trump's statements spark alarm across Europe. Allies warn that military threats are unacceptable. NATO faces internal tension. Denmark fears a breach of trust. Greenland demands diplomatic attention. The United States insists it is only considering options, but words alone raise stakes. Global media amplifies every statement. Russia watches closely. China observes the Arctic strategies. Markets react to uncertainty over resources. Oil, gas, and rare earth minerals hang in the balance. US. Domestic politics intensify the pressure. Some lawmakers call for restraint. Others defend the administration's assertiveness. Meanwhile, Trump frames the issue as protecting national security. The narrative is simple but powerful. Control Greenland, secure the Arctic, and project strength. Every diplomatic message, every tweet, and every public remark adds fuel to the fire. The icy island has become a focal point of global anxiety. The tension is no longer hypothetical. It is real. It is immediate. And the world waits for the next move. Behind the geopolitics, there are human stories. The decisions in Washington ripple to the people of Greenland and beyond. Imagine living on an island suddenly at the center of a global power struggle. Greenlanders wake each day to headlines about military threats. Their homes, culture, and future feel uncertain. Communities watch as foreign leaders debate their land. Local authorities scramble to respond. Families worry about resources and safety. Businesses face instability. The economy is fragile. Every statement from Washington sends ripples through daily life. People wonder, will their sovereignty be respected? Will their voices matter in decisions that shape their future? The Arctic is more than ice, it is their home, and now it is a stage for global ambition. As a viewer, ask yourself, how would you feel if your home became a pawn in geopolitical chess? This is not just a distant news story. It is about real lives, real fears, and real consequences. The choices made in boardrooms affect ordinary people in profound ways. We must consider the human cost of power and reflect on how far a nation should go in pursuit of security. The impact is not just local. It reverberates across continents, affecting global geopolitics and alliances. Greenland's crisis does not stay local. Every statement from Washington echoes around the world. European allies are watching closely. NATO faces tension between loyalty and trust. Russia observes U.S. interest with caution. China monitors Arctic developments for strategic opportunity. Global markets react to uncertainty. Energy companies, shipping routes, and rare earth mineral industries all take notice. A single tweet can sway investors. Diplomatic channels buzz with urgent discussions. Allies question whether the United States respects international norms. The Arctic becomes a theater of power projection. Every decision risks triggering a diplomatic or even military misstep. Small nations like Denmark and Greenland face pressures far beyond their size. They must balance sovereignty with global strategy. The United States projects strength, but at a cost. Trust among allies strains. Old partnerships are tested. New alliances may emerge in response. The ripple effects spread far and wide. What happens in Greenland affects not just one island, but the balance of power across continents. Looking forward, there are three possible futures, each with profound consequences for Greenland, the Arctic, and the world. The future of Greenland hangs in the balance. One path is positive. The United States and Denmark negotiate peacefully. Allies collaborate through NATO. Greenland retains sovereignty. Resources are developed responsibly. Economic growth benefits local communities. Strategic security is strengthened without conflict. This is the best case scenario. A second path is more moderate. Tensions persist. Diplomatic talks drag on. Some economic development occurs. Trust among allies suffers. The Arctic becomes a zone of uncertainty. Military posturing increases, though no shots are fired. This is the middle scenario. The third path is dire. Miscommunication escalates. Military threats turn into confrontation. Global alliance fracture. Trade, energy, and technology sectors are destabilized. Greenlanders face disruption to their lives and culture. The Arctic becomes a flashpoint of international conflict. This is the worst-case scenario. The Greenland crisis teaches a larger lesson. Power, ambition, and resources must be balanced with law, trust, and humanity. What we do today shapes not only maps, but the moral landscape of our world. Greenland is more than an island. It is a mirror of global ambition. It is a test of alliances and trust. It is a lesson in how power, resources, and strategy intersect. The Trump administration's interest has shaken the Arctic. It has challenged NATO. It has raised questions about sovereignty and law. It has reminded the world that words can be as powerful as weapons. As we reflect, one insight is clear. Global power is fragile. Decisions in Washington, Copenhagen, or Nuuk ripple across the world. The Arctic is a stage for human ambition, diplomacy, and consequence. For Greenlanders, the impact is immediate and personal. For the world, the stakes are strategic and moral. As you watch, consider this. How should nations balance security with ethics? How far is too far in the pursuit of resources and influence? The story of Greenland is not over, and the next chapters will be written by choices we make today. Stay informed. Question power. Share this story. The Arctic, the world, and the people on it depend on it.